We're going to take this frequency distribution that's been constructed and construct a frequency histogram. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to select the data that we want to graph. And so we definitely want to involve our frequencies. So I'm going to select these 5 values right here, which are our frequencies. And once I have those selected, I'm going to go up to the Insert tab. And in this area, this is the charts area of Excel, where we can graph different charts. And in this particular section, these are the column graphs. I'm going to go to the 2D column in this first option here, which is the cluster column, and select that particular graph here. Now, because we want this to be a histogram, we want the bars to be touching, and so in order to do that, I can go up to this option up here, which is Quick Layout, and there are different layouts for how we can make the graph appear. And if I choose this option right here, this is an option where we get the bars to touch. And just to kind of clean some things up here, if I just click on like where the bars are in the graph, so you can see how the bars just got selected, and then if I right click on that, I can change like what color fill I want. So if I want the color green fill, I can choose that. And then I can also put an outline on the graph so I can more clearly see the distinction between the bars. And then I can make that outline a little bit thicker too, so we can see a little bit more clearly the distinction between the bars. Now in this graph here, you'll see that there's spots for axis titles. So along the y-axis here, we could relabel this here. This is going to be the frequency for our graph. We want to give our graph a chart title. So the appropriate title would be dealing with the fact that this is triglyceride levels. So we could say something like triglyceride levels in milligrams per deciliter of blood in 26 patients, which would be an appropriate title based on what this data is all about. And then you'll see on the x-axis here, we have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But instead, really what we want those to be we want those to be our class limits. So like for number 1 here, what we should really see is this is 138 through 202. And for number 2, it should be 203 through 267. So in order to do that, in this area right over here, I'm going to create our classes. So I'm going to type in equals, and I want 138 to pop in here, but I'm going to type in F3 because that's where 138 comes from. And then I'm going to do a little bit of some symbols here just to get some text in here. So I'm going to type in this ampersand symbol here, and then I'm going to follow it and put a dash. I need to do quotation marks for the text. So a quotation mark followed by the dash, and then we'll put a quotation mark on that, and followed by another and then finally we can put cell G3, because G3 is where cell 202 is. So with the F3 at the beginning and G3 at the end, and then in between those two we have and then inside of quotation marks a dash followed by another and symbol. I'm going to hit enter here, and then we're going to see in this cell 138 through 202. Now if I move my cursor so that once I have the cell selected, I move it from the plus sign to the corner, so it turns that black plus sign. I can drag this down, and then it'll auto-populate the rest of the classes and have those ranges. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we get these 5 ranges here associated with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So go ahead and click on your graph, and once you click on your graph, you can right-click on that graph, and then there's going to be an option that says Select Data. Click on that, and this little box or window is going to pop up. On the right side here is the horizontal axis labels, and right now it shows 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's what we see on the horizontal axis. We want to change that, so what we can do is we can press this Edit button, and then we can go ahead and select these 5 values here that we want to be on the horizontal axis, and then hit OK. And then you'll see replaced here are these 5 ranges of values, and already in our graph you can see those 5 ranges of values. And then we can hit OK on this box, and then that closes that out. And now you can see our graph has the correct classes And then I suppose we can relabel this axis title here, probably just to say that this is your different classes of triglyceride levels. And then this is your fully complete frequency histogram.